me case. Qué rico cuando te quedas sin distro más. Ese cuerpito tuyo el orgullo del case. Piche el corto, vamos a hacerlo en un yate. Pero a la vista, mami, tú te la ganaste. Yo me gané tu peso, nadie ganó, mami, esto es un empate. Por más que otra insiste, como tu otra no existe. Mami, no estoy pensando en nada, que no sea mirarte como tú te despistes. Porque demoras, son otras horas. No sé cómo somos llegar, si me pregunto cómo es que soy envidiosa, envidiosa. No me importa nada.
All right. What's happening? What's happening? All right. Happy Wednesday. We got FOMC day today. Part 1. So today we'll have our first stream. And then we'll have another stream about 15 minutes before FOMC. Morning. What's good, fam? I got Corey in here, Caius, Taylor. What's up, Gabriel, Harshi? I love it. We're all over the place. Dallas, Toronto, Puerto Rico, Chicago. What's up, Shelby, Patrick, Luis, Edgar? Got a verse today. Philippians 4. Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. May God's peace guard your mind and heart today and every day. What's up, fam? Blessings, Seth. We got Michael, Ibraneth, Joe, Vaughn, Amy, Brandon, Ramiro, Greg. Yeah, let's get some coffee. I think I'm back. All right, awesome. What is FOMC? Ganesha, what's happening? Lonzo, Marty, Sen, Austin, Brandon. FOMC is a high impact news event. Call it a red folder news. This is typically the moments in which create expected volatility, high amounts of volatility in the market. Specifically, FOMC is where the Federal Reserve sets the tone on what interest rates will be, and then there's a press conference about it and a Q&A. So I'd say it's about, in reality, there's more like kind of like 3 different moments. There's the interest rate dropping, that creates volatility. There's the start of the press conference, and then there's the Q&A element of the press conference, which is typically around like 1:45, 1:47 Central. So yeah, it's later in the day. So today, this session is kind of just, it's like more of a setting the tone, see if like we just have anything to do early on, and then afterwards, the fun really begins. So, yeah, so we're going to kick things off with indices. Then we can kind of dive into metals. But I do want to add, there is this oil setup that we were looking at yesterday around a sell up here. And so if anyone just took advantage of that, we're starting to see a little bit of reaction. It's a pretty big move. So I don't know what that stop loss would look like depending on your style. It would be a pretty big stop. So I'm not in this, but we are starting to see these Tokyo and London highs get swept over here, and starting to see it cleared out, instantly pumps up, eliminates retail sellers, and then the market comes crashing down. After it comes crashing down, it's immediately bouncing back up. So not quite the type of price action I would want to then enter. Maybe another sell here later. For now, I would avoid taking a sell position just because I prefer when the market stays bearish. So I'll come back to this, kind of see when the market gets up here. This, I don't think, has lured in enough buyers. It's not as much as a liquidity creation than compared to what I would want. From here, now let's take a look at NQ, indices in general, see what we got going on. So yesterday, right, very, very choppy. We had that short idea, which I ended up going break even on yesterday. Where was it? Over here. Right, over here, we were playing out of like this 4-hour zone. So let me just zoom out real quick. We were looking for this and then didn't really get too much out of this. We ended up getting a rejection and then it came back in. So after that happened, we got a break, almost stopped out. So we then get the reversal, comes back in here. So from there, we had Asian session, very bullish, just kept pushing. So there's honestly a handful of opportunities that I see relevant here with indices, whether it's buys or sells. Not sells, buys with NASDAQ. So yesterday with New York open, we see a spike down, which actually clears up a good amount of consolidation, takes out London lows, trades into this imbalance, and then the market rallies. So we haven't worked our way back here yet. So we haven't worked our way over here yet, and we definitely could. If you take a look at Dow here, Dow has just been squeezing. So while NQ has been going higher and higher and higher, Dow is just chilling. And I want you guys to see the difference in price action. Like Dow is trading way down here, hasn't broken above anything from this week, hasn't broken above anything really regarding all of the month. Whereas NASDAQ has been extremely bullish and traded all the way back to November's price action. So very, very different types of price action right now between NQ and Dow Jones. What I have a feeling is going to happen is we're going to get another day where the markets are not moving similarly together. So yesterday, you see Dow Jones, right, make this spike down to here. So this is a very big spike down before the market rallies. And so I could see the market wanting to bounce out of here. The other zone that is interesting is how Dow clears these highs. A bit of liquidity here, a couple hours worth of liquidity. Trades above New York open here and then drops. The problem, though, with a sell right here in this structure is that when it tries to make a lower low, it fails. It does not create demand. As quickly as this goes down, it comes right back up. So I don't like the sell here. I don't like the sell. No me gusta esta venta por aquí. No creo que va a aguantar si entran por aquí. So, yeah. Yes, Dow can take out Tokyo highs. It is a zone I definitely see buyers come in and liquidate. But the fact that this lower low just failed miserably doesn't give me a good sign that we are really creating more bearish structure. So I'm not going to sell here, despite you kind of do see the sweep of liquidity and then it drops. And then if I compare this to NQ, NQ not moving up as much. S&P definitely is. So could this play out? Maybe. But there's red flags, right? And the big one is that we don't get the structure. Structure does not close here. And for me, when we don't get a solid confirmation of structure, it reduces the probabilities of this trade playing out. Sometimes you still get the reversal, like you're kind of starting to see now, but the exit you would want to keep more conservative as well. But anyways, so no estoy entrando, no estoy vendiendo aquí. I'm not looking to sell here. And honestly, I would prefer to take trades up here. Dow had left the zone up here from Tuesday during London session. Big spike, clears out tons of liquidity, and I would rather see the market. I think we have one better risk reward if the market climbs its way back up here. There's tons of imbalance, etc. So, yeah, I'm curious. Is anybody going to sell Dow, or did anybody sell Dow already in this zone? Because, obviously it is playing out. So, it's just not one of those setups for me. There were things that I liked and things that I didn't like. So, best. I guess I could have gone with less risk, but the fact that we took up London highs, Tokyo highs with New York Open, the timing of it also is super important to consider. So with all that being said, despite the 5-minute not giving the low and this showing signs of weakness, we could have just used that as a place to exit for take profit rather than to completely reject the idea. So, here I am not in the trade. That would have worked out really well. Here's what this, for example, if this would have given me more of like this, then yeah, I was in this for sure, no problem. And then the entry with this trade would have been like right here where we have this little order block. So like right there. The stop goes there. And then here's where things get a little tricky, though, because where is your exit going to go? So I would probably look for it, maybe a 3R, honestly, right around here. So if you are in this, I think taking your profit within the structure is a higher probability for an exit. But yeah, that's the play. Now, could there still be a trade here? Maybe. And again, that would come down to what this looks like. So if we were to start to kind of build up here and then we just see the market give us something like this, then on a reversal, cool, I would be open to selling. But we'd have to see it go down this way. And I'm not sure if that's going to be the case. So we'll have to wait and see. Now, NQ, on the other hand, nice little spike up. And NQ is starting to work its way down here. Okay. And just to give you guys some perspective, NASDAQ ends up trading all the way back up towards early November here, right around the highs, all-time highs. So we do have very bullish price action. And I'm sure some assets actually gapped up. So haven't quite looked at the stock market yet, but I'm sure we had some things gap up here. Snapchat with a good gap. Let's see. Starbucks, a 5% jump. Intel, another 8% jump up. Looks like it wants to fill that gap up from last week. Solar, some nice movement. Okay. So I figured we were going to get some sort of gaps jumping. Okay, just with the way NQ is moving during Asian session. I entered the sell and it would have hit to be for me. However, it didn't pop up as active on my trades and I'm concerned. Tradetopia is having issues, huh? That's pretty rare. Execution issues? I haven't taken anything this morning, so I don't know yet. All right, what I am liking right now, so looking at structure here, we see NQ's New York Open right after New York Open, right? We see a nice little spike. Does it take out a ton of liquidity? No. But does it take out some retail sellers? For sure. So we trade around here, really about an hour's worth of sellers. But do I love trading out of here? Not really. We pump up to this level, but just kind of to make more resistance. So I'm not convinced yet on this idea, on the possibility of shorting NQ or anything yet. And so look at Dow, right? Dow spiked up, came crashing down, pumped right back up to here. These are not signs, not for me, for selling. This is showing us that we're pretty inconsistent with where the market really wants to be. There's buyers up to all the way up to here. And then clearly there isn't a sustainable amount of buyers here, so it comes crashing down. And then when price gets to this level, well, not enough sell orders here, so price keeps climbing, looking for that sell, where the market's going to match the sells again. And then over here, nope, overpriced again, and price comes crashing down. So it's we're kind of finding our rhythm in here. This is not what I look for when trading. I like to see consistency. I like to see structure, not just, oh, did it break above, but is there demand for the market? So right now, Dow is not giving any healthy signs for taking positions. And NQ, although it broke below here, same thing. It comes down, but just to really fail to do much. So I'd rather just kind of chill out here. Give the market some time. So, yeah. Indices, I'm going to wait it out a bit. Majors still relatively choppy. End up getting a decent reaction from Euro here before it pumped up one more time. And then after this clears all this, we end up working our way back down during Asian session to fill this imbalance. Just kind of some choppiness, nothing crazy. So not really a lot of setups for me here with the majors. Nothing solid by any means here. Now, gold and silver, right? Gold just went last night, just absolutely bonkers. Just keeps on pushing. Said 5200s. Yeah, I don't know anything about those guys. 5300s. You know what? Let's go trade up here. So absolutely unreal with price action so far. We're in price discovery. There is no, history of where market can go here. I'm curious if anyone's selling their gold, if you're finding actual buyers of gold at this price, like physical. Silver here had done a great job rebalancing, working its way down. So there was definitely there is currently a divergence between gold and silver. Silver here starting to move its way up slower. You notice that it hasn't broken Monday's high, whereas gold is trading well above all of that. So now we're starting to see silver with a slower bullish pace. So with the right confirmations, you could have there's a good chance, if there's a sell opportunity, that silver would be the better sell, just considering price action and the volatility at the moment. So give it some time. Give the market some time to play out. I'm not necessarily taking any buys on silver with gold being so extremely bullish. And I also don't really have good price action to take positions yet. So unless we get completely new price action by the time FOMC lands, I might be staying out of metals overall today. Okay, so back to oil. So oil takes out highs, makes some pretty strong movement up. We trade right back into structure. And from here, we've been pretty choppy, right? We've worked our way up. We've worked our way down. We've worked our way up. Looks like we're working our way back down. So I am curious to see how long the market moves like this before it, commits to a direction. But right now, it looks like a break of structure. The market comes back down. And then this typically entices buyers, more buyers. So there is a chance we could see a short right in here with oil. And I'd say the longer that we're trading down here, the better the odds get for this type of trade. And Mike, we're just wondering if you consider the NAS spike up as a liquidity sweep and then follow the direction of the day bearish, same as Dow. So let's take a look at it. I believe that I talked about this briefly, but I said because we end up basically making equal highs up here, and there's really no demand once the market broke the low, that this is not something I want to trade. Yeah, this is not really convincing me of anything worth selling quite yet. And Dow here, despite having very choppy price action, I guess wants to keep going lower. Yeah. Not my trade. This just it doesn't, it's not one that fits like what I need to see. And sometimes that works out. Sometimes it doesn't. So the good thing is I avoid losses, more losses than anything. But every once in a while there'll be a setup that plays out where it's like, I guess I could have been in there. But remember, as a trader, your goal is to eliminate as many mediocre opportunities, to eliminate as many methods that fail. Because everything works sometimes. Everything works eventually sometimes. The problem is when you start to just trade whatever you see. Because one, it just gets exhausting when it doesn't work out. And two, you can't really pinpoint where you have an edge, like where you will come out on top. Because when you sometimes take these types of trades and sometimes you don't, you end up with very inconsistent results. And then you're also your ownership over the trade is significantly lower. When it's like, I kind of knew I shouldn't have taken that, and you lose, you're like, it's like a trade in the books that you could have avoided. And even when you win, it almost feels like you got a bit lucky. But when you're taking setups that fit your entry model, that fit your entire system, then all of a sudden it's like, when you lose, you're like, all right, cool, it's fine. I would be willing to take that because I know that hits when it does, and the risk reward is worth it. So if there's setups that you're taking where you almost kind of don't even feel fully like you have full ownership over it, then probably want to take those out of your trade. If you feel kind of almost guilty about a trade like that. Nah, but I did want to buy Dow, but it was more bearish than any Q. Understand that. Frozen. Try refreshing maybe. Had a limit on oil and didn't activate. Check the Discord. Everyone is losing it. Yikes. That's wild. Maybe it's TopStep attack. What are the chances? TopStep dropped the wait list for their brokerage, and now Tradetopia isn't working. And I feel like I've never had Tradetopia not work. I don't know, man. I marked up a 5-minute buy on gold and didn't have conviction to pull the trigger. It's at 115. 1 to 15? Damn. Well, I guess I'm just on the sideline today, fam. They strongly suggest no trading until it's back up and running. It's all right. Oil losing 45. Yes, sir. So, and speaking on that TopStep thing, if you guys didn't see it, they dropped their brokerage. It's like just on a wait list right now. I'm not bullish or bearish on TopStep brokerage. I would say like it's so weird. I don't understand people, but people are now hyped. Like, oh my God, TopStep brokerage, sick. But like, if you never had a live account, why are you hyped now? Like, why would you be hyped about the unproven brokerage when you have all of these proven, regulated brokers that you could already be trading on? So I don't know. I don't know what it is. Maybe the Project X, like just the platform, the user interface itself, like but even then you can trade on TradingView. So I don't actually understand. But here's how I'm going to play this out. And I'm sure they're going to run promotions for people that like are first movers and are doing their thing there. But the thing is, like, if the brokerage on a live account, if the broker's having issues and you're like engaging in real-time orders, I mean, there's like not much you can do. Like, they can't go in like, oh, sorry about your trading, let me just delete these trades that you took. You can't delete those trades. Like, you're exchanging actual money. So, yeah, real-time brokers have to have real-time functionality. And so I wouldn't want to be a guinea pig with that off the start. So I would be okay with being a little bit late to that party just to see them, hash out their issues, whatever things are going to happen. So there are certain things where being the first mover has massive advantages. With this, I think there's more of a disadvantage than an advantage, because Project X has already shown having issues before, so I'd rather just wait it out and then give it a little bit of time to mature, just to kind of even see if it's worth anything. Yeah. But this is TopStep brokerage, right? But prop firm obviously they're doing what they're doing. They had a little bit of issues in December, but other than that, it's pretty fine. They already approved my payouts here. It took them the dashboard thing was annoying. And then it's been, I think, 36 hours since I requested. And right now, because they have like a whole checklist that they show you, like, you submitted, your funds have been approved, risk is approved, compliance approved, finance processing, funds sent. So most of my payout requests have gone through everything, and they're at just literally the last thing, which is them sending the funds. One of them, for some reason, is waiting for a compliance to approve it. But yeah, we'll see. But as of when I submitted it, so here, I got qualified to get a payout on Friday. The dashboard wouldn't update until, I think it was Monday evening. And then from when I submitted it, which was 5:39 p.m. January 26th, it has been officially like 40 hours since. So that's a lot. It's way longer than it takes with Tradefy, than with LucidTrading, than with TopOne. Definitely still shorter than what it typically takes with Apex. So for all my Apex people out there, good luck. My dad has been waiting for a payout for like a month or so already, longer, month and a half, I think. And he's approved for 2 payouts. So Apex is just a pain in the ass. I had just made a TopStep account last night and was looking at their combine options. Yeah, the combines are cool. The prop firm's cool. I'm talking about the brokerage. I think just for the risk settings and lockout purposes, it would be cool to have for personal account, but they got to get their shit together. You can lock yourself out. You can put maxes for your risk on Tradevate too. Daily maxes, daily minimums, stuff like that. Yeah. No, it's never really getting denied by TopStep. Now I feel like, and I don't use it, this is usually not good signs, when all of a sudden platforms are starting to take way longer than they used to pay out. Mike, I just buy a 50K account Apex. I've never been in futures before. Can you help me on how to manage risk to have control? Trailing drawdown. I would say if you're going to go for a big risk reward, then you're going to want to make sure that stop loss is following along pretty well, because it is based off of your equity. So if you go up in profit, it's real-time drawdown. So if, let's say, you have the 50K and you go up to 51,500, but you haven't taken profit yet, and then you go all the way back down to 50,000, like you just go break even on that trade. Well, now your highest account was at 51,500, and that $2,000 drawdown is going to be from up there. So if you're taking trades with Apex, yeah, the way you manage your stop loss probably has to change, and you do want to be a bit more aggressive on trailing your stop loss. Or just have tighter take profits, risk rewards. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, anyways, sorry guys. I know we're just looking at why I'm there. I didn't switch over to the camera. But right now, what we're noticing is YM definitely has a more bearish momentum. So it was pretty choppy. Not my favorite type of trading over here, which is fine. I'm okay with that. If we keep going lower, so now the question is it valid to buy Dow in here? Would it hold up? The fact that Dow is having more, like it's just selling off a lot more, I'm not preferring it as much. And I would much rather want to be in buy positions with NQ somewhere. But that also isn't until, 270 points lower. So, yeah, right now, Indices not really giving at least what I would need to trade in here. And this is where you just you have to be able to control yourself from just wanting to be in because you're in front of the screen. I know it's called trading, but obviously you guys know you're more of a waiter than you are a trader here more often. So, yeah, no, I'm not. I wouldn't buy it Dow. It's got a lot more bearish momentum and compared to the rest of the indices. If Dow maintains bearish structure, so let's say we kind of do something like this or whatever, maybe it goes lower, but I could see us take out these highs and trade out of this imbalance as well in here. So because we have that right, that other push drops again. This is luring in buyers, luring in sellers, breaks below again. So if we keep working lower, I could see this. Obviously, we see a lot of momentum kick things off from up here. So we'll see. I'm just curious what happens, what the market looks like when we get back up into this imbalance. So maybe there's something here. But again, that's thinking just a few steps ahead. We need a few things to happen in order to take something like that. And right now we don't have that yet. So I'm curious about how we work our way higher here. So NQ taking out London highs, Tokyo highs. I'm curious about how that comes through. And then the sell that I am waiting for, which I'll share with you guys here, is the one from yesterday. So this is like the most clear setup that I see right now is with Dow Jones from yesterday. You have it take the highs out, come crashing down. This looks like it's starting to create an accumulation schematic, but that's kind of why I think we go one leg lower. So let me go ahead and share this here. Today's setups. January 28th. The month is almost over. Crazy. So here is YM. All right, alert goes off. Okay, so let's look at this oil idea, right? So oil, remember, we saw it take out those highs, and then right now, this is where I like things a bit better, right? We saw the market move sideways, kind of give us the the good old break and retest, and this happens for well over 30 minutes. And even here, you have a spike up and a drop. So I like the idea. All right, we worked our way all the way up to here. All right, we traded up towards these zones over here, where we had a massive push up to the upside. And then now, after that breakout, right? Seeing this breakout, the market comes back in, it lures in some buyers. We are going counter trend. Everything is bullish here. And even the 1 minute is just rebalancing. It hasn't even broken like structure. So I'm going to go with a bit less risk on this since we're going counter trend. And I mean, like everything is still bullish. So I like the idea. I'm just going to be risking a little less considering the overall market conditions here. And then now the target, right? Where does this go to? And I think we could at least target these London lows over here. So this is going to be the play right here. Go to the 15 second. It's a pretty big move. Honestly, I'm actually going to go one notch lower because I don't even need. If this is the target, then it doesn't need to be this precise. 250. Whoa. Let's see, 250, 275. All right. I'm cool with that. Actually, I'm good with a 60% risk trade here. 0.6, 300. Oh. Cool. Not happening then. All right. There we go. There was reality sinking in for me where it's like, hey, yeah, no, you also can't use Tradetopia. You're not immune. Let's see if I can just check it directly from here. What would my the contracts be here? 17 units. All right. It let me set the order straight on Tradetopia. So it looks like the Tradetopia, maybe the trading view integration is the issue. So yeah, you can set it right on Tradetopia though, from what I'm seeing on my screen here. So if anyone wants to take their positions, you can take it directly on what you're trading. Tradetopia, it looks like the Tradetopia to trading view integration is down, but I was able to place the position here, no problem. Directly on Tradetopia. Is that not equal highs with the wick? I mean, here's the high. And then here is the lower high. What's up, cozy boy? Que lo que? What's happening? Did you have a profitable session today? Or have you been out of the market so far? All right, let's check back in here with NQ still ranging, choppy, gross. This is honestly kind of typical for FOMC days. Like, it's like 50-50 whether you really get any opportunity. 4.5K day. Ooh, let's go. Let's go, my boy. Did you trade this for this morning, or would you trade metals yesterday? Yeah, this has been ugly to me, so I don't know what you're trading. Caught silver buy last night and this morning. You're a savage, bro. Silver either making historical profitable days for people or absolutely destroying accounts. All right, so far, like I was mentioning, guys, I mean, indices, I think they're going to more build up so that FOMC could bring the party. From what I'm seeing right now, metals kicking things into gear again, right? Starting to rally some more. The only setup I guess I think I kind of would understand would be gold kind of had they swept some liquidity here into Tokyo and then came in here. You have the typical break and retest, so this lured in some buyers and then started ripping. That would be the only thing. Let's see what else we got. Silver starting to rally a bit, so you do have this big push down, which clears up some London session traders, and then the majority of Asian session buyers as well before things turn around. So this is kind of a curious setup. Maybe back down into here, like a 112. Nah, silver is not for the weak. That's for damn sure. Especially with these margins, the contract sizes. Huh. Yeah. Madness. Mexican peso still ripping. Bitcoin back and forth here. Now, remember, Bitcoin can give you clues on indices. Like, it can show you some signs. So we finally worked our way back up to this last push up here before things started to crash down. So started to see the mitigation of this buy position right there. So good reversal. The fact that we didn't really maintain this low once we broke below 87K and we came right back in, this to me is a sign we might be done with all this. Like, we traded down into here. I thought we were going to trade into this order block, but I guess we just traded into the imbalance and the rest of this down. So I really did think we were going to trade back a little bit lower. Maybe we will. Maybe we still will. It's still a possibility. But if we break above this high right here, if Bitcoin breaks above this 91,150 level and maintains above here, I think we're probably gone from here then. So if we were to see something like this, like, can we just trade up here? Then, yeah, we're probably gonna rally. And, whoa. You know, that could be what the catalyst to breaking above 100 again. But we would need to see this first. Damn, Sol had a nice big spike down here on Sunday. What tool is that? It's the what's this thing called? Ghost feed. The ghost feed. The ghost feed is, I believe, here. So where it says projection, where you have like your long and short tool, there's a ghost feed right there. All right, let's check back in with these indices. This might be a shorter session, guys. If we're going to keep doing more of this. Because remember, we're going to be live back here again with FOMC. So it'll be, you know, your boy versus Powell cage match. I would prefer sells with Dow, but not right now. And then the only other idea that I'm considering is that oil sell. And fuck. There she goes. Dang. Well, maybe next time. All right, guys. So that's a whole lot of movement. This trade for me is a wrap. You got a Spanish lesson? Sick. I like it. Yeah, she's gone. Gold is dumping. Let's see. Oh. All right, well, taking out London lows. Cool. What about silver? So look at the difference. Gold sweeping London lows while silver relatively maintaining this 5-minute structure here. So there might be a buy scenario here. But here's the thing, guys. If you're going to be trading silver, even if it's micros, like you have to be very, very intentional with your stop loss, because a stop like this, you know, you're going to have like a 2,000 point drawdown even with one micro. Like if you were to trade from here to here with one micro, that's a $1,700 risk. So it's got to be tight. Like you'd have to probably be trading like one order block at a time. And considering that gold just took out these London lows, we might just get that, right? You might just get the rejection like out of this here right now. But now you're banking a lot on this one candle to hold pretty well. So, I mean, it looks like it is, but yeah. That drop is not happening on CFDs. So it's not always a why. I know you ask this often. Why is this thing happening? That's the wrong question. Markets don't move because of something. It's what you would imagine is true, right? I mean, I understand why you would think that. But the cause, there's only we say there's an excuse, right? There's an excuse on why things happen. There's an excuse on why these orders are injected when they're injected. It's not because like, oh, this is some reality, like, oh, someone said this, or here's what's new with here's what's new with the markets. That's not the case, right? What happens is there's this news event, there's something is said, so that's the perfect excuse to inject orders to massive buys, massive sells. So what's the excuse in this example? Let me see here. I mean, China approved a whole bunch of NVIDIA chip purchases. Let's see what else I got here. Honestly, I'm not sure yet, but let me go ahead and delete my order before it's too late. If things are frozen for you, it might be just whatever data feed you're on. So that might be the case. The dollar overall. Yo, Mike, how much time would you say it's right for chart study sessions a day? I heard someone say something about spending too many hours a day can also cause you not to make the right decision. Well, that's a different question. You're asking two questions. studying the charts, studying something specific like setups, entries, exits, looking to understand like why the market moves the way it moves. If you're learning, then I mean, spend as much time as your brain can handle, I guess, in whatever you have, while staying healthy. But if you're actively trading, yeah, if you spend too much time just looking at this thing, then you're just going to start to make up scenarios that probably aren't really there. So that is a difference that I do agree with. Like, there is a time and place to execute ideas. So if there is nothing there for you, if there's no setups and what you're just waiting on ideas, then have your alerts set and go live your life. But for specific studying purposes, I think you just have to understand that you have to make a decision on what that is that you're doing. Are you learning and studying, or are you looking to find a trade? If you're always looking to find a trade, then yeah, that's where you'll have issues. I'm sure Trump just said something in dollar moves. Gold dumping. Okay. There was news 1 minute ago. What kind of news? It wouldn't have been high impact news. It was like orange folder news. Canadian. Nah, but that happened after that. Dollar yen. Okay, so if dollar yen was talked about, then that makes sense. The dollar yen has a lot of gold reserves, so, or the yen, Japan. Orange for Trump. Classic. There's a message in Discord to not trade until they sort the issues with Tradetopia. Yeah, looks like it just updated on my end. But execution-wise, I'm not sure here. So remember, we were looking at possible buys on Dow. But I'm not taking this position either. That's like I feel like I say that so often now. I'm not taking this. Kind of looks all right. I'm not going to take it. Plays out. But Dow is more bearish than NQ and S&P, and NQ and S&P to me just don't really have setups. So yeah, I'm just gonna stay out of this. Not really looking forward to this. If Dow keeps sustaining price action down here, then I might look for shorts back in this range, like right after that New York Open, if we can stay trading below here. But the big reason why I'm not looking for buys with Dow is, one, we haven't seen bullish structure. We tried over here. So, I mean, you could say this is kind of like a shakeout, right? Sweeps, cracks the low, fails to stay up here, and then, is building up tons of retail buyers actually looking at it from this perspective. It does look pretty decent. But the issue is, how bearish or bullish are all of these movements? Excuse me. And as you guys can see, NQ and S&P are bouncing much more bullish than Dow. Dow has just been a stronger bear the whole time. So don't need to be in the market here. Yeah, so it's really weird. Tradetopia having issues, especially on FOMC day. Very unusual. My guess is it's a TopStep attack. They're trying to make a statement. If you see, what's his name, tweet, the CEO of TopStep, what's his name, Michael Paddock. If he starts to throw shade at them, then I think it's a coordinated attack. This would be my conspiracy brain at work here. We shall see. But yeah, guys, we'll leave it at that. We'll be live again here in about 3.5 hours. So I'll see you all then. In the meantime, just stay diligent. Keep marking up if you have something, or just set your alerts and be ready, and then go do whatever you got to do. All right, guys. All right, take care, y'all. I'll see you all. This will redirect you straight to it. If you guys want to take advantage of our free resources, feel free to join the community. You'll see the QR codes there. All right, y'all. Catch y'all in a few.